Hey guys, it's Jen. It is just before 7 p.m. Oh, whoa, why am I all close to the camera like that? See, my phone's like malfunctioning. Here, I'm getting it on camera. It just totally zoomed there. I just literally, oh wait, it's just before 7 p.m. Saturn's Day, January 11th, 2020. Sorry, I'm like creeped out because like literally, I'm in Northeast Pennsylvania, like near the Pocono area, and a jet just flew like above my house, going past, I think, in towards the east direction. Like I'm looking out my window to see if I can see anything right now, and it's quiet right now, but like that to me was the direction it was going in. So I'm like, oh my God, it was so loud. Like it was flying really low altitude. Uh, and then I know a bunch of people that have been kind of being like blocked today on the internet, so to speak, like fill in the blank, like um, trying to silence the truth. And, these are truther people that are, honest and real, and they're trying to shut them down, and they are messing with me too. I lost a bunch of my subscriptions on YouTube. I had to resubscribe. A lot of my videos are gone. But if you're smart out there, and some of us use our noggins still, what's left of them anyways at this age? God, 43. Ugh. Anyways, and we make copies and store cloud copies and hard copies and different files and backups and things like that, so that we don't put all of our eggs in one basket, or ducks in a basket, or however that saying goes. Anyways, I promised you guys a little Capricorn video, but with this weekend, with the... okay. All right, this is what I'm working on in my spiritual journey of literally loathing being in front of the camera. I like to do the research and analyze it and hypothesize it and solve it back in the lab. I don't like to be in your face on the camera, because I always try to explain to people that the way I am, pretty much anybody that, well, not too many people know me at this point anymore, like all my life except my sister. I am, and much love to Dustin Hoffman, but I am Rain Man in here, and I have had to spend 43 years now not being Rain Man out here. And this is why we're known as a bit reclusive, or hermits, or introverts, or maybe they refer to us as mad or insane or crazy or something, but we're not. It's a lot to try to balance all the time, 24/7. Try to be this way, and act this way, and look this way, and walk this way, and talk this way, and do this and don't do that, say this and don't say that, bow down to this, kneel to that, and that's not me. I don't like to have other people make choices for me and decisions for me. So I like to maintain the authority to be able to choose and make decisions for myself, and have the right to. And unfortunately, in 2020, where we are today, what few are left here in the United States of America, that place that's, oh, wait, what is that? Oh yeah, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah. with social security. Well, guess what I got in the mail today, folks? After 3 years and 3 denials as a disabled female natural born citizen here in Merca, the corporation in which we live, where I'm a commodity and you're a commodity to be bought, sold, or traded on whatever market is open for the highest amount of that. Power, control, gain. And I know in this little tiny 4.3 decades that I've been here on this merry-go-round of destruction and pollution and trash and disease and illness and disorder and deception. That's what I see. A lot of that going on and that going on. But nobody's being or doing or walking, treating anyone else the way they say they do. And I've never gained my perception of a person. Oh, sorry. See, I knew something was going to happen to get me off track. Jet. Or aircraft or something. I can hear it. I hope you guys hear that. Okay, so I've been on here 7 minutes, and within 7 minutes, we'll give it 8 by the time I got on here and everything. 8 minutes to, okay, so something, I don't know. Anyways, I got off track, and this is why I don't like the camera. I don't like being social with other people because I stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, like, the fact that my 3 sons are 21 and 18 and next month 15, like, young men, like, manners, respect, decency, they're good kids and progressive, innovative, future-minded, like their mama. They get it from their mama. Yeah, I'm a geek who's a freak, I mean, I was raised Roman Catholic. My dad and both of my grandfathers were all in the military, and as well as many others in my extended family, military. So very military, very Catholic. And since I was advanced when I was younger and I was tested as a child, I went to a private school, and my parents, wanted me to have the best education that they could afford for their daughter, who, according to society, labeled her a genius. Fuck that word. I hate that word. I can't stand that word. That destroyed me all these years. Label this. Everything's a label. Oh, you're white. You're black. You're Christian. You're Muslim. You're Greek. You're Jewish. You're Catholic. You're short. You're tall. You're fat. You're Chinese. You're good or bad, or it's like words are daggers and they hurt the worst. And I should know because I probably have more labels in this little tiny, short, little finite lifetime of what, half a century maybe? Something like that's left. I don't know. Who knows? It's like I probably have enough to really take everybody's on and just carry it because I already have it. Like, let's see. Nerd, prude, fat, geek, psycho, crazy, crazy train, psycho bitch, freak, fucking loser. I mean, just it goes on and on. And there's only one that I really hate, that really bothers me. The others, I really don't like. When people have bullied me, I've become so numb or immune to it, I would say, from experiencing it so many times that it really has no effect on me anymore. Like my body and my mind and everything, my spirit, like my courage and all that has literally built up its antibodies and it can fight it and it fights it on its own naturally anymore. But like, there was only one, and that was when someone would call me a liar. Because my whole life, no matter what anyone perceived me to be, or labeled me as, or thought of me as, or felt about me as, or treated me as, that was their perception of what they thought made me me. And the thing that we got to remember about that is every single individual, unique, beautiful human, no matter your age, your color, your weight, your income, your family bloodline, disorder, not, it doesn't matter. Your gender, it doesn't matter. Okay? Every single one is a unique individual gem. It's like your human body. You know, like imagine, and I don't mean to try to really actually think this out and try to perceive it, because believe me, I've tried and I can't. So ain't nobody else, because Rain Man up here, calculating, figuring, solving, cracking codes, decoding, decrypting, riddles, solving puzzles, blah, blah, blah. Video games, like we were the OGs, like the original gamers, like, come on. These kids today, like my sons, I challenge them still. I'm like, all right, boys, I'll play your games, but we're gonna go head to head with some like Resident Evil or Mario 3 or something that I could do still today blindfolded. Or do some Myst, some strategy on the computer, Dungeons and Dragons, or let's go Atari, Genesis, any platform you name it. And I do have my preference of platform. I'll say I'm team something and not so much team the other platform. My kids know the answer to that one. Oh, but I think I just gave it away when I said Resident Evil, because that was my favorite game. Any gamer knows what platform that came out on. Anyways, our family's first video game system, though, was called Intellivision. And it was this controller that had a wrapped wire cord that hooked to the, platform, and then it plugged to the TV console, the big old dinosaur fat thing with antennas. You got to turn the knobs to get to the channels. Oh my God. Anyways, I like those memories. Anyways, so the buttons on it were like this hard, I don't know, aluminum or something. And they were you had to press so hard that your thumb would literally be sore after you were playing it. Anyway, and I had little things when I was a kid, like I can remember back to probably when I was about 2 years old, I would say. And I vividly remember the memory, as a matter of fact, and I was in my diaper, and that was it. And a little, I guess, a snappy, like a onesie that snaps like at the crotch for a baby. They could just walk around in their diaper and that. And I had to, I guess, go number 2 in my diaper. And my mom and my aunt were there, my mom's sister. And I remember we had these long, ugly, puke 70s green color long curtains in our living room. And I still remember like draping it around me like a shower curtain and getting behind there and like going to the bathroom. Why would I tell this story right now if it wasn't the truth? Okay? Like, I wouldn't be red in the face right now. This is proof of when people are telling the raw, honest truth of how you can see inflection and tone and body language and look in their eyes to see eye contact, which nobody does anymore because everybody's so distracted by everything. Anywho, so, like your pulse speeds up, you get excited when you're passionate about something. Well, okay, so let's go back to the Jen story, right? Shout out. I was just thinking, by the way. See, this is Rain Man. This is why what I perceived in my mind was going to be a 5-minute, here's your video, because I got to talk about this jet, whatever's going on. Yeah, we're at almost 17 now. So I'm going to just try to wrap it up as fast as... No. Forget Rain Man. We're not even at Rain Man anymore. That was Dustin Hoffman. That's my dad's generation, okay? Like Vietnam vet. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm Generation X, like born 76, nonconformist, geek freak. Yeah. And you know what? This freak took her leash off, which is a noose, a long time ago. So I don't really take anybody's crap anymore. And that's the good thing about surviving so many things in your life and conquering and overcoming so many things is although you're terrified, and I have been terrified many times over in my life, walking this world alone as a female, I want to do that. Trust me. I can, and I do, and I will. And I am now. I'll speak on experience when it comes to that. See, that's the thing. Too many people that are in leadership positions today that hold rank or are elected or can make decisions and policies and laws and regulate things and supervise things and oversee things and manage things properly and, hold on, because I start to get angry too. See, in this life, although I never got to be what I wanted to be in my life for myself, because I was always told what I should or could or need to be or can't be, I'm a mother. And that is not a job or work. It is the greatest. Like, I wish you guys, I hope you can see it on my expression right now, because this is raw, no green screen, like I'm in my bedroom. There's my Zodiac poster that my youngest, Benjamin, got me for Christmas. And really quick while we're on this, where did I put, in here. In my notebooks here, this is my beautiful new journal that my middle son, Jonathan, got me for Christmas. And these guys right here, this is a band out of Rockford, Freeport, Illinois. They're a young group of kids. They do like a metalcore type of music. Anyone from my generation that likes the kind of bands that I do, like Korn and Slipknot and things like that, Breaking Benjamin and Linkin Park and Rage Against the Machine, System of a Down, Pantera. I mean, like The Cure even. Lots of punk, industrial, emo, new rock, new metal, grunge, everything. It was just, there was no name or label for it because it was fresh, it was new. Nobody had ever heard that music before. So there isn't a name for something that is a new creation. And that is revolutionary. That's when people throughout history make discoveries, right? So I'm more like, I'm not like Marilyn Monroe or anything. No, I'm like Einstein and Tesla and Newton and, oh God, I'm the one with the feather and just by candlelight in some monastery somewhere, like just with libraries and yeah, that's me. So, I love to learn. That's my passion. Makes me happy. I used to paint with oils on canvas when I was younger, like landscapes and things. And I used to play piano, upright, but I haven't played since I was a kid. I like to learn different languages and I hate math. I always hated math. I love numerology, like the study of numbers and how they work in like the universe and those terms and like sacred geometry and things like that. But algebra, calculus, trig, that was all right, but anyways, I'm getting off the topic. Sorry. Okay, so we're forgetting Rain Man. This is going to be, and I'm from Florida, so, well, I wasn't born in Florida, but I lived there all my life. I love the tropical weather. I love the beaches. I love the peace there. I love the wildlife. It's like one of the last gems that this country has left, and it's just these huge multi-million-dollar condos are all now, blocking the view of the water. You can't even, 30 some years ago when I was going out there as a kid, they weren't even built. They weren't even there. And you could lay on the beach and just look out as far as you could see to the ocean. And way out, there's a horizon line where the sky literally meets the water. You just imagine what's beyond out there. It's all you can see. Now it's like building. So pipes and shit are going under the ground. It's extra freaking taking their natural habitat away from, ecologically with the wildlife, and probably pumping their sewage out to sea, which is what a lot of these corporate entities don't want you to know. And you know what, guys? I keep getting off track. Before I get to that, let me lighten the mood because I got to take a breath, because this is where anger comes in, and Rain Man goes away, and we have Jen, the Florida hurricane, and she's at a category 6 right now. Do the math. So, these guys, my son's band in Illinois, my eldest son, Steven, he's 21, and he's a Cancer, the crab, in July, and I'm a Capricorn, hybrid sea goat. And that is like kind of truly what labeled me. honest to God, like, no, I don't like saying honest to God or honest to goodness, my Nana would always say. There, that's a better one. I'll rephrase it like that. Get this, okay? Like, tell me this, you wouldn't wonder and question if you grew up thinking all this all the time. And I'm telling you, like I said, I was aware, and I have my conscious memory from 2 years old is the earliest here, since I've been born that I can remember back to. And, anyway, so I told my mom and my aunt about that situation and my mom was like blown away. She's like, I can't believe you would remember that. You were so little. And I don't think my aunt believed it, but, she's like, oh, somebody must have said something or, whatever, blew it off. But my mom was like astounded because my mom was like, she didn't have the empath. She did to a degree with us, like her daughters, my sisters and I, yes. But to other people, she's like kind of judgmental because she's a Leo and they're like on the stage, like they want the spotlight and everything has to be proper and they always have to be posing. And my mom, she was hard on me, but that's because she came from England and she didn't come here till she was 5 years old. My grandma and, her brothers and sisters, my aunts and uncles. And in that time, being born in the 50s, you're kind of like, my mom was into doo-wop and Motown, and like she could light up a room when anybody went in, and everybody loved her. And, she was kind of prude and cold, but a lady and classy and smart. And good mom, but not affectionate enough, I will say. And we talked about this later on before she passed away. Like we talked about a lot and like healed a lot of things. It was kind of awesome. She passed in 2014 at 63 from secondary lung cancer. She smoked all her life, and you get primary. Primary's one, the first stage. Lung cancer if you're a smoker, or mesothelioma or COPD or any of these black lung or anything like that from working in where you're breathing asbestos and different things, latex powders and concrete dust and lots of stuff. So lots of stuff flying around in the particles of the air that we can't see with our eyes. And your nose hairs only trap so much, and then you breathe it in on top of all the up in the clouds up there by the catch my drift, tails and trails. Those are toxic. These things can make you sick. And people say, well, how do you know? Well, again, I'm always going to prove my research, but I'm going to back it up with experience. And no, I don't test on animals in a lab. And no, I don't perform experiments on others. I test everything on this one right here. And I'm going to experience it so that I can gain the experience value and have the authority to maintain the authority of the right, like a copyright on myself, that I am consciously aware, and the factual things of evidence that prove words are great. Try to find a law more than a few who actually are out there that you can count on every single time, in every single way, no matter what. Hands down, 100%, no questions asked, complete loyalty, complete unconditional love that doesn't come with some kind of rule or, well, if you do this, I'll, but if I'm not going to get this, I won't. But if you don't look like, no, it doesn't work like that. Or, you made a mistake. Oh, you've shamed the family. No, it doesn't work like that. Unconditional means UN, dash without. Conditional is without any kind of conditions, rules, policies, laws, commandments, procedures, whatever. It is unconditional love and unconditional truth. You have to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And I've shown my subs that have been my fam for over all of 2019, I think some of 2018, right? Whenever I started this channel, this was what I was guided to do, was to gain courage, get in front of the camera, start speaking up and standing up because the time is now. It's like basically how I heard it. So I'm like, what? And I thought I was going crazy. And everybody around me did too. And a couple things happened in the summer of 2018. 2 instances that now, after some time has gone by and I've put the pieces of the puzzle together and linked up times and dates and events and connected all the dots, if you will. Now it's making pretty clear sense. And I don't always do my research that way. I don't always open a book or go to an instructor or an institution to find the materials I need. I go like in here. And I used to do little things. Ugh, so embarrassing. But oh well, suck it up, Jen. All right. When I was a kid, like I didn't really have to study for tests. Like even at the private school that I went to, still it wasn't really a challenge for me. So it was really easy for me to keep up because I felt like I was always in like 6th grade doing like a 2nd grader's work. And I'm like, really, guys? Like I would never say a word. Like I went, we had to wear dresses and skirts and pray in school. Like it was strict. I didn't go to Catholic school though. I went to a Christian school that was run by a Southern Baptist church. That was fun because, it was fun. And then Catholic church on Sunday, Mass with Nana. And she would take my sister and I to the beach, or we'd hang out by the pool after just to have fun, and she took us to church every day. And my sister and I, we're crawling under the pews in there and drawing on the little cards they leave in the back of the one in front of you. And she's like just doing her thing, sitting there like, girls, she was like the purest soul I've ever met on, ever. And there's no one that came. No, her door would never be shut. She wouldn't care what you did. She could never be mad, or she never. And my sister, I was 22 when she died. And 21. Wait, was it 21? I don't know. 21 or 22, somewhere around there. 22. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, it's going to bother me because I hate when I can't figure things out. Anyways, I say the same thing about my boys. I don't care what they would do. If they committed a crime, robbed a convenience store or a drug deal or whatever, it doesn't matter. Or I don't care their age. I don't care if they're 4 or 40 or 400. If one of my sons was, I can't even get myself to say this out loud. I don't think I ever have. Literally, I'm going to raise my arm up so you can see how much my hand's shaking. Okay. If one of my sons, God forbid it from ever happening. I ask that it never happens. That they live vicariously through my experience, because if one of my boys, my precious angels, was ever without a roof over his head or something in his stomach, Do you think while I have a living breath in this body, I would ever shut my door to one of my kids, anyone that knows me personally, here in my corner of the matrix on Prison Planet, where we currently exist? I'm going to explain the Saturn and Soul connection. And that has to do with our planets in our solar system that's in our galaxy, and how that has been twisted throughout time and times and half a time and looped to constantly stay on repeat in certain areas. And the cosmogony and cosmology, astrology, numerology, theology, philosophy, neurology, biology, physiology, genetically, environmentally, ecologically, lawfully, rightfully, truthfully. You know, like the whole court system with judges sitting on thrones, passing judgment, and the jury of peers looks on based on their perception. Because those funny little tagline labels that we all come with, like, oh, names, or labels like, let's use my fun, awesome one, genius. Which, by the way, I'm the lovely Stanford Binet standard test back in the 1980s that they had me use. You know, from their view of highest achieving, which is genius, it'll go like advanced, superior, above average, average, below average, learning disabled. And get this, I kid you not, you can go on in any archives and do research for every release of their test, what year it came out. I took mine 86 to 88, 1986 to 88, okay, at a psychotherapist's office, all right? The bottom two, I hate saying these words, but I'm only going to get it through to you if I say it, because that's how I'm going to prove to you what I'm about to say after that. Okay, so the last two, lowest on the list, beneath the average, and way below the genius and above average, are the, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone. This is why I don't call names, and I'm not mean, and I don't judge people. You got to be a lot of this one on the receiving end to understand what it does ultimately, okay? So I apologize in advance, but I must say this in order for it to have the impact and prove the results that I need it to prove. Forgive me. Retarded. And imbecile. It's disgusting. Washing that off of myself. That is placing people on some sort of hierarchy of being better than and greater than, or far more superior than, the lesser than or weaker than, or, the peons and the freaking slaves. And I'm telling you guys right now, taking a pause real quick. I'll get back to it. See how I have to sometimes, like when you're getting in an argument with somebody, you have to walk away for a minute and cool off and then come back to it. And so me, like Rain Man's already like a billion steps ahead, and this like vomiting dyslexia mouth can't keep up, and I'm like, and so I get like all nervous, and that has a lot to do with it too, because that's a trauma from my childhood, is having the label that I got, no, it's spelling bees, and standing there sweating, all eyes on you, mom and dad, like, you gotta get first place. 3 weeks prior to that, you get a stack of like this thick of words that are similar to supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Spell that and learn the definition and how to use it in a sentence. Oh, and there's 5,000 other words just like it, and you have 3 weeks. I hope you get first place. And you're like, I have to make my mom and dad proud. I have to get first place. My class is counting on me because my teacher said we'll get an ice cream party. This is regional. They're coming in from Georgia and different places, and all the schools in all this area are going together. And there's the camera. I have to win from, like I'm going to make them. That's all I was sweating profusely. And people like me, those, genius, high functioning, autistic, altruistic, with a disorder of, what did he say? Oh, bipolar. Yeah, that's the plane we're on. Genius is what I felt like, but I don't speak like that to people. I did for a long time to myself in my mind, till I realized how powerful thoughts were. And when I would be home or by myself, or just by myself driving in the car or something, I'd be like, that, where nobody could physically right there hear, but sound waves, they travel. So maybe if you picture like a boomerang going out there and coming back, maybe what once started as a little oh is now a rah on its way back to you. So anyways, so that's how I kind of cool off for a minute. I have to laugh, or I have to put music on, or I have to do something artistic. So one thing that I can do, because it's free, and I overcame yet again homelessness last year, and coming out of an abusive situation, and getting a little, maybe a 1/64th% of justice here through the court system, with visitation and my kids in the schedule and blah, 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 and transportation. One side having all the tools necessary and income and materials, and retaining what was taken some 7 years back from a different state. Yeah, I got every other weekend. And it's been, since New Year's that I've spoken to my youngest son. Today's the 11th. It's been almost 7 years. Because I ended up being judged for what I became as a product of living every single label everyone ever cursed me to be. Because by ingraining that in my mind and drilling it in and repetition. That's how you learn. I know that better than anyone. Oh, so the little trick I used to do when I was younger, I would lay down upside down and hang my head so the blood would rush to my brain. And I literally used to time my answers. If I would take pre-tests, if I knew I had a test tomorrow, I said I didn't really ever have to study, but I would do that, have my head rush go, blood rush to my head. That's bringing oxygen to your brain, because your brain's always upward, and then we all know that blood is pulled down. That's why people have swollen ankles and swollen feet, and they have to elevate their feet if they have edema or any water retention in their legs. And the same is true for our noggins here. They need rest as well as much as they need exercise. You know how you get exercise for this? By cardio. You exercise your heart. You keep it in prime condition, efficient, optimum working order. Like it's beautiful. It's like spinning pristine. It's beautiful. Well, see these guys behind me? Ooh, Sorry about my containers of mess here. I'm organizing my closet. These are books. And when you read, when it's on, I don't agree with paper, because we see the deforestation and the loss of trees. Trees give us our oxygen. We give them their carbon dioxide. We lose trees. We lose our ability to breathe. And so do they. So that's what people need to understand, is we're not the only species that goes extinct here. You're basically being responsible for the lives of other species, other races, other beings. And so anyways, back to my son's band. I'll touch on that. This is the one band. They have a little more experience in the game. They also play with another awesome band. These guys they throw down, man. They're called Dead Awake. Dead/Awake. Get it? Dead Awake. And these kids are all like they're my kids' age. Like 21, they're a little bit older than that. And then 18, like my other son. These kids are going to rock this planet, I'm telling you. And so my son's band is called A Part of Me, and it's a metalcore band, which is a metal version of emo. And these kids today are broken. They had rough childhoods. If you got someone in their, young 20s, late teens, even mid-teens, mid-teens to mid-20s, I would say. The younger and younger kids, they are actually like the young girls that have gotten pregnant, that have just recently had babies, like within the last year or so. They've actually taken on some kind of motherly quality, I've noticed. I know a couple people off of Facebook that were quite young that had babies, and they're actually doing an excellent job staying home, quit their jobs. And I'm like, yes, because I'll tell you what, man, I have done it both always. If I speak on something, that means that I have experienced it as well as researched it. If I don't know the answer to something, I always say, I don't know, or tell me, or how can I find out? Because that's my passion all my life, is learning. This thing's like a sponge. It wants to just like soak up as anything it can get. And that's what I wanted to do with my life. Like academia. I just wanted to be in a research lab, study I don't know, the brain and not just different pathology and different things like that, and physics. And I just liked science and stuff like that. And poetry. I write poetry and stuff. It's like I was more I don't agree with the MDs, the doctors of today's current medical and pharmaceutical industries. I agree with physicians like Hippocrates, and I did a video on that. They might have taken it off. I don't know which ones they took off. I didn't look into it. But I have Hippocrates, a copy of his actual word for word statement, the way he worded the Hippocratic Oath himself, the great physician, the great Greek physician himself, Hippocrates. And, oh, yeah. When you read his original oath, none of the shit that's going on today that's so toxic and harmful. Oh God, I can't. I'm just gonna okay. Calm the volcano before it erupts, because I truly am like, I'll embrace both aspects of myself, angel and demon, because this hybrid Capricorn horned sea goat, with a serpent fishtail, and the ruling planet of Capricorn is Saturn, which everybody says that's Satan. Okay. And in the tarot deck, yeah, what's my tarot card? The Empress, the Queen, the Devil. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, what is going on? Like, I'm flipping out. I'm freaking out. Okay. I was like, oh my God, did I do something evil? Oh my God. You should have seen when I was like crying, like literally crying. God, please don't let me be a demon. I was like, ooh. It's funny now because I could look back and I see it and I'm like, oh God, I didn't know. And I was scared. So anyways, I'll help get more into that. Okay, so here's my synchronicities, right? I was going to just show you. Well, actually, I'll show you while I tell you, because that's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to make sure you guys can see, because I don't know how to hold this with the camera this way. Oh, crap, I don't know if this is going to work. I may have to do it over here. Hang on. I think I can switch my camera on this phone, but I don't know how yet. I always say I'm really good with computers. Like when I was a young kid in the early 80s, we had those they were like very rare. And sometimes you only had access to it if you happened to be in that circle. These IBM old dinosaur desktops. And we were basically told, well, that's a computer and you can sit down and just play around on it, have fun, do whatever you're going to do. And don't worry, because anything you do on there can be deleted, so you can't break anything or anything like that. That's literally how it was explained. And I mean, we were the ones like taking them apart and learning like codes and, different things like that. And, I don't know, like it's different, playing around, exploring. That's what we do. Investigate things. Try out experiences, which is experimenting. Risking things sometimes, and sometimes not in a good way. Like taking every opportunity to take every risk, because you want to experience as much as you can and learn as much as you can. Or I do. I'm going to speak for myself only. Okay, I apologize for dyslexic vomit. Hurricane woman, dyslexic vomit coming at you. Ready? Projectile. No, I'm kidding. See, I'm weird. That's like, and my favorite form of humor, which I practice daily, multiple times a day, sarcasm with a straight face, dead ass, and smart assery. as I like to call it. I'm like, most people are offended because they don't realize that I'm joking. And I tell them, I'm like, don't, because they don't get it. And I'm like, I know. On the inside, that's wrong. I know. But it's true. Hey. Ooh, if that's my biggest sin or crime, dangerous, right? So, come on. I got to amuse myself somehow. It's lonely in this cell, which it's not. I mean, I've come a long way. A year ago, I was out in the woods. You guys can even peep my videos if they're still there of when I was out in the woods and I was like asking for somebody to like anybody could donate like tent or any. I was like, it was snowing. It was a polar vortex last winter. Sleeping in the backseat of a car, opening like cans that are frozen cold and just eating out of it. Grateful that I have food and thanking like God for keeping me with something. I never went without. I never did. I had something at least. If I didn't have a fire, I had food. If I didn't have food, I had coffee at least. Or a cigarette just to, freaking calm my nerves. Like, I'm a, former IV drug user, heroin, which, no, I wasn't that young girl in her ballerina dress, waiting and imagining and daydreaming till I could grow up, and I thought I aspire to be a junkie. Yeah, no, as Tech 9 would say, but he does it better. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. No one does, okay? We all became, in my generation anyways, and again, I'm not going to speak for anyone. I'm just going to say I know people personally, and I'm going to speak for myself from our generation who became the broken, shattered products of some very strict, stern, broken systems that were put in place a long time ago and indoctrinations, and we bore the brunt because we were different. And instead of difference feeling shameful to us, we embraced our differences, and we wanted to be unique and authentic and original and real and raw and unique. Because how well would the human body be? Imagine if you pretend you're God. You created all the parts that go in your body. Your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, your brain, your teeth, your eyes, your ears, everything. Your blood, your bones, nails, everything. And let's say you had, instead of lungs here, you had another heart. Well, you couldn't live because you couldn't breathe, because your heart doesn't perform respiratory work, it performs cardiac work. Oh, okay, well, what if you had all bones, 2 sets of bones in your body, and take out muscles? Your body wouldn't move because your brain sends signals down your spinal cord and into your arms, legs, and feet and hands and the rest of your body to send a trigger to make your muscles contract and release. And that's how we move. You tighten your muscle, crunch it up, and then you... And if you didn't have muscles, nothing would move the bones. You'd be like a frozen statue because you couldn't move. Your muscles do that. So you see how everything has a reason? And the more we take away that natural thing, that ability, that gift, that talent that one person has, that they are the greatest at, because that's their personal gift, we're only hurting ourselves. because we all are but little dots, little fractal aspect pieces, points, units that make up one whole. And if I even took one speck here, a little speck there, a little speck there, well, that's the thing. Once you take off enough specks, those little specks gradually morph or fuse together. Like old-fashioned thermometers, the glass ones that have mercury in them. If you spilled it, the mercury blobs on the ground will go like, and mercury is so toxic you can't even touch it. It absorbs in your skin. So that silvery, fluid, liquidy blobs that come out, that's mercury. Don't touch it. Get away from it. Call poison control or fire department or somebody to clean it up with biohazard shit with the right PPE. Don't even touch it. And so the thing about the in our clouds up there with the lines is that it's known as P.M. Number dos. Point. Número. Cinco. Dos. Point. Cinco. And that is comprised of different elements such as lithium. You know, the fun stuff that comes in batteries? Oh, yeah. And also psychiatric medication, because I was prescribed it. And it was one of the medications I was on in the summer of 2018 when I had my 3 in 1 week grand mal seizures back to back. Split my head open on the concrete, bit my tongue on the side. Oh, and I split it, you know, like a serpent's tongue. Because I'm that Capricorn horned serpent-tailed goat with the devil tarot card and Saturn's the planet and brr, 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 brr. So of course I would split my tongue like a serpent, divided on the side. I had blood and foam coming out. My ex resuscitated me. And we had another friend that was walking with us at the time. And we were out in front of a little pizza place. And this happened on a concrete sidewalk. And I just smacked back. And my head hit the concrete. I had a big goose egg bleeding out of the back of my head. And I had an out-of-body experience. Like, I remember looking down. I could see my ex, like, pumping on my chest. I could see the other guy that we were walking with, like, going like this. Oh, my God. Blah, blah. Like, he was freaking out, like, kind of jumping around. He didn't know what to do. And then I got up each time. And my ex-boyfriend said to me, he's like, it's the weirdest thing. He's like, you go like out. And he's like, you just fall. And each time, this is how it happened. I'm like, okay, tell me details. Like, what do you remember? And he's like, you fell back. You just, whatever you're in the middle of doing, it's like you freeze and you just fall back. And then he goes, however long, he's like, I didn't time it because I was like nervous and scared. But he's like, say 30 seconds or whatever, a minute or however long it goes, you just snap out of it and get up and go right back to whatever you were just doing. Like, and I'm like, really? And I mean, I knew that I had the seizure. I felt it. I obviously felt my tongue, my head. I was sore. I saw the blood. And I felt like, oh, God, I'm glad I got out of that one. Because when you have a seizure, it's like your brain wires are shorting out. It's like your car battery dying. Like, you're going to malfunction and then you're probably going to, short out. And that means, zzz. All right, catch my drift. I know you do, because I know there's lots of smart cookies out there. So we all need to start using this. And the way we can start using this is by taking care of these, these, each other. In order to create monumental change and go the opposite direction, the wave has to equal the incoming tidal wave with the correct amount of velocity and volume and momentum. We got to kind of, let's use some corn lyrics, shall we, kids? Let's get this party started. I'm ready. Are you? I've been ready. I don't know about you guys, but people like me and the very rare few that I am blessed and honored and grateful to know and love with all my heart, we've been aware since birth, basically. We can see as clearly with our intuition as with our intellect, like left side, right side hemispheres of the brain, those bipolar, negative, positive poles, like on a battery that balance it out. Anywho, my sister always says that. I haven't talked to her in a long time, so it makes me think of her. So yeah, I forgot where I was going. Oh, the Capricorn stuff. So today being Saturn Day, the day that is dedicated to Saturn, I noticed intuitively and spiritually, Saturdays are the best days and the clearest days that messages are received by me. And what I do is I honestly don't know that a name exists for it. I truly don't. I've looked into it, but I really haven't, gone full steam ahead into research on it. No. But there's so many things like clairaudience, clairsentience, things like that, like psychic, medium, clairvoyance, tarot guides, coaches, spiritual shaman, teachers, whatever. I don't know all the names. I just know that, I'm someone who's on the front lines here, defense and offense. And we have a specific first wave function, and there will be a second and third wave function that will calm the waters. That is a must. And the only way that's going to happen is if people out there start waking up, see the truth, stop looking at screens all the time. We're always on phones. These nails and proverbial coffins that I'm looking into that's stealing my photonic biofoam light particles. Because yes, we are electromagnetic. And biochemical. And we do emit sound. Did I emit sound there? Yes. Okay. If I am putting on perfume, or if I haven't taken a shower in a week, can you smell me with your nose? Yeah. If someone kissed my hand, and it was salty because I just came back from the beach, or kissed me romantically, and I just ate an onion garlic burger, could you taste me? If I was standing next to you and you put your finger on my hand, you could touch me. Boop. touch, touch, touch. Feel, okay. So we heard, we smelled, we tasted, we felt. Okay, what other senses do we have? How many do we have? That was 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you catch my drift. Well, FYI, you can think things about people because thoughts are still energy that's in motion. It's a created space that doesn't have it's created matter that doesn't have a space set out for it yet, though. You know, you have to be the architect to draw the box or what's going to encompass it, like those sim kind of video games or tycoon games where you build your theme park and all that and then kind of make everything work, like design, stuff like that. Anyways, I'm going off on a ramble, but whoever has listened, I love you and appreciate that you somehow made it to over an hour here and you're not drooling in a straitjacket in a corner in an asylum somewhere, because usually that's been my life experience here is people go running, screaming in the opposite direction because I don't have too many chances to interact with in social ways. Fun, much less, everybody comes to me, of course, always. It's always Jen when they need advice for something or they need an answer because they know I have it, but nobody's there any other time but when they need from you. Ask something or, borrow or do, something like that. Favors, and it's all right, ask for anything back. You just do it. Remember that unconditional thing we were talking about earlier? And that's why. Your life's purpose is to do for those you love. And who do I love? Everyone. I don't have a judgment. I don't have a thing that makes me not. It's I try to explain it to people it's not within me. So if it's not within me, I can't perceive it to sense it, to do it or be it. Like hating. I'm not that person that's a hater of anyone with darker skin than mine or that speaks a different language or I love differences. I wish everyone would they've worded it today in today's modern world as repent and turn away from your evil ways so you don't burn in the flames of hell. Standing at the pulpit under the tall steeple after the baskets go out collecting donations for entities sponsored by international institutions and who also have no tax penalty to pay. And there's one on every block, on every street, in every town, trying to see who has the biggest steeple. Well, no, I don't go to church on Sundays and pay the steeple. I spent my whole entire childhood into teenage years in church and then in school in a second form of church. And then on Wednesday nights, CCD classes for communion and confirmation and memorize verses every week. They didn't teach the meaning in the verses. It was always a race, always a competition. Okay, guys, it's time we're going to have Bible verse race competition. Everybody get your Bibles out. Go to John 3:16. Who can get there the fastest? You know exactly where it is. Boom, raise your hand. I got first place. Boom. You're always taught competition, competition, competition. But I wasn't taught to brutally beat down anyone and step on people and cheat people or deceive people to get it or use them or trick them. No, just get faster. So I did. And that took a lot of my childhood away. I wanted to be playing with my friends like everybody else was, climbing trees, building forts, going to the beach. We used to ride the bus and go to the library and volunteer there, and it's awesome. And nope, I'm studying for another performance or at the doctor's taking a puzzle test. Or I'm at church for mass. Or I'm going for CCD class. Or I have electives in my school and trying to fit those in on the other nights of the week. And plays. And I didn't want to be on a stage. Ugh, musical chorus. You don't want to hear this sing. Believe me, you don't. That is my disclaimer. No one wants to hear this. And they want me to do some soprano? Yeah, no. Nope. Now, I could sing a little, maybe a little falsetto with some, little bass. But then again, I'm a 26-year-long, unfortunately, Newport 100 smoker, menthol, fiberglass. Any more the kind of chemicals and substances that I've placed in my own body by my own hand, there's not too many drugs out there I haven't done. Used to drink really heavily. Oh my God, smoke it, sniff it, shoot it, bang it, whatever, drink it, pound it, chug it. Ugh. And then not to mention, I was placed on my first psychiatric medication at 15, which was Zoloft. And then we graduated to Prozac. That was fun. I was in the hospital getting my insides pumped with black tar charcoal because I tried to overdose with them. Loneliness is the most fatal disease on this planet. Loneliness. It's like those prison stories when you hear those people in, go to solitary. Man, it's dark. Sometimes it's completely silent. Sometimes it's so loud you can't. I'm comparing. Have I been in a prison cell of solitary? No, I have not. But have I lived 43 years? Me, myself, and I. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. No, it's just me. Yeah, so I talk to myself because that's all I've ever had. And others perceive me, or they've called others in history who had the same label as me as being insane. And as a scientist, we argue with that one statement that, they say in certain anonymous groups for, that you go to for support therapy. The definition of insanity is repeating the same behavior over and over and expecting a different result. And we're people like me anyways, I'm you could kind of flip that, and you could, because as a scientist, if you're in a lab and you're working with chemicals and beakers and all that fun stuff, and yeah, you're going to repeat the same experiment over and 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 over as many possible times to rule out with no room for error, to make sure you are 100% accurate. It's all about accuracy and not leaving room for error and doing things thoroughly and properly and rightfully and beneficially and exponentially, progressively, futuristically, innovatively, creatively. And by doing it together, we can accomplish things that we want changed in this world a lot faster. We just have to remember that we're one big chain, but we are all sovereign individual links in that chain. And as such, we are then only as strong as our weakest link. Well, I can think of a few tiny ones right now, this very moment, suffering, being trafficked somewhere right now, or being raped or mutilated or aborted or abused or molested or tortured or caged or murdered or beaten. And they're defenseless. So let's start replacing some of this hatred and walk in the light of truth, which is being an expression of love. Because by becoming the expression that you seek in the world, then you're showing the true example. Not just talking a big game of bullshit. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful, and brutal. You're everything you are. Not all who you are, not who you know, not where you've been, not what you done, not what you haven't. What are you comprised of? What are you made up of when, you look into the mind, the body, the spirit, and the soul? Because that's omni, baby. Omni. 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 So I don't ever say I have enemies. I have conspirators and adversaries and opponents. And I have some sibling rivalry going on. And some parent-child teenage headbutting going on. However, every second of every moment, no, that doesn't even make sense. Every nanosecond, every conceivable moment that exists while you are conscious and aware and alive and awake is quote unquote recorded. I'm not talking only like, if you go to heaven or hell, yeah, all of you is going to be known, every dirty thing you've done behind closed doors. Yeah, it is. Because it's already there. And here we have the powers that be, the rulers and owners of our current time warp prison planet. Holographic simulation projected on this. If enough people band together and wake up and start activating others to the truth and then start immediately taking action to change things just on a singular level, good deed once a day or something that isn't right, like maybe there's an impulse issue. That's why with my addictions, I needed certain substances. I needed stimulants and different things. And when marijuana was considered criminal, it's a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug. It's a gateway drug. Yeah. gateway to greatness, or as in the movie Half Baked. Yeah, usually the munchies after whatever he says. More complex than that. Like, if anybody knows movies word for word, like stoner comedies, I'm your chick here. Like, I can quote them, literally. Abba Zaba, you my only friend. So, that being said, as you can see, I'm so mortified and embarrassed to even publish this and upload this video, but I have to. I know what time it is, and I know, why things have been lining up and making sense so much. So here's some cool notes. I'm just going to finalize if I can finally get the camera to freaking show it. The whole Jesus, God, Lucifer, Satan, blah, blah, blah things, names, dates, times, places, lots of things have been changed, and don't always believe the literal terminology. That's why it's important not to just translate if you are reading prophecy, and you can't just do one area, maybe astrology or cosmology or something. You have to be able to integrate theology as well, because many of the prophets that wrote the books, whether it's written, whether it's spoken, or I'm trying to see if you guys can see it like that, or whether it is documented on a computer storage drive. Either way, once that energy is expressed into the universe, it is already documented. And what prophets do, or the ones who left us these clues and planetary things and all kinds of stuff, it's the same way you would encode something and then embed code into a computer program. Encrypt it and then encode and stuff like that, where you use certain symbolic, meaningful things, and you use them in a way like Morse code. Dot, 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 dash, dash, dot, dot, dot. Morse code was beeping, and that sent communication. Now we pick up a phone and dial it. Early in my life, we had a rotary phone that had the wheel. You had to spin it to the 0, and then we had a cordless phone after that. Now we have cell phones. Well, some places in different atmospheres that have different energies and densities and things like that, and abilities which have not been manipulated or modified or replaced with something artificial instead of natural, they have their full abilities. So some beings and races and species have an ability that's telepathic. That means you communicate with your mind by tuning it into the frequency, like you're turning a radio dial, or you're changing the tuning on the radio stations. And some come in fuzzy, or you might get like that. And then some are clear as day, and you get da, 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 coming through, because it's like a direct line of communication. Hope you guys got that. If you didn't, you can go back and pause it, because my hand was falling asleep while holding it like that. So, anyways, this has been quite the struggle and journey the last year and a half or so, and especially doing it me, myself, and I alone. I don't have a team or resources or tools or even a car of transportation or a computer or anything. My books, my inner guidance, which I call it my inner vision, which is your third eye, seeing with this eye, not with these two. We got to shut these down, shut the world off. Go somewhere quiet and demand and command peaceful quiet for yourself so you can gain clarity and light, which is wisdom from God. That's what light means, which is knowledge. And knowledge comes from learning. Knowledge is knowing. And the only way you get knowledge is to learn it. And you learn it either by studying in a book, at a school, from a teacher, or you learn it because it's gifted to you in your sight, because it's stored in your memory for some reason. And you got to figure that out. When you ask God for answers, do you get answers? Absolutely. You got to be ready to receive them is the key. You know, I've many times, I need an answer with, I can't figure out. And I'm like all aggravated and please, okay, please, I need to see so-and-so, what happened with this? What is the answer? What does this mean? I'm asking. And then the next couple of days, I get so caught up in this life of menial, mundane things like that. And I'm like, oh, crap. Yep, yesterday I looked at the clock at 3:33, and then right after that, the windows were all closed, but I smelled Mom's apple pie coming through the window. Darn, I bet that was my window of opportunity that went by and I missed it. But it's not gone forever. But that's going to teach you when it comes back around in orbit, snatch it, okay? Because that's when God's answering you. We have to do our part and be ready to receive it. And that means making priority, spending some time every day going within yourself, because God does not exist outside of us. We are of God because we are God inside as well as all making up. We are the parts comprising the whole, but also that God is the whole. The whole is also within us. We just have to pull in little bits of it because we're too tiny. We're like little baby newborns, you know, and God's like the protective mom's belly. And she's not just going to like stick a freaking hose down her stomach to the fetus and like pump gallons of food. No, it's going to come in little increments through the umbilical cord, you know, whatever the baby needs, when the baby needs, for the best of the baby. And yes, people, life starts. Life here begins at conception. Not 12 weeks, not 8 weeks, not when it becomes a fetus, not when it's, and I don't want to hear any excuses or fake ass justifications or lies on how you're going to try to think you're going to explain if you advocate full-term abortion, 9 months. Oh yeah, this thing, nah, I don't feel like having it today. Just get the fuck out of my face with that noise, because that's what it's become. A whole lot of this and not enough of this. Character, integrity, moral ethics, decency, honor. That's how we reclaim our birthright. What is our right? Freedom and sovereignty. If we are doing anything that we enjoy and we're not hurting anyone or we're not harming anything, and we're working in divine order, maybe you whittle wood out there, but you could never earn a living on it. But that's your passion. You like to whittle wood and make little creatures out of wood. And you could have your own little business with that. Sell it. People trade, and you need, I don't know, peat moss and stuff for your farm, or sod or something for it, and you make an even trade. Or, hey, you're a chiropractor. Hey, you do acupuncture. I'll give you an hour and you give me an hour session. All right, awesome, cool. You're a counselor. You're a Reiki Master, you are a meditation. Okay, we'll trade sessions. Or, I'll give you a freebie, you give me one. Or, I'll promote you on my page, you promote me. It's like a symbiotic. They work together in harmony. They just keep working together. Boom, boom, boom. And it's beautiful and balanced and peaceful and joyous, and you're just happy. And I haven't been happy here. Happiness is something I don't know too much about. Can't say I've experienced that one. I've laughed, I've had fun, but happy? Things with my kids and memories, maybe, I guess, but always very short-lived. Here today, gone tomorrow. Literally, for me. Oh, so, sorry for the ramble. I lost my first son because I didn't get to make my own choice when I was a young, impressionable teenage girl. So I know the feeling and the grief and the agony and the destruction that becomes from the loss of children. Death and, what's a better word for death and theft? Whatever. Having them being taken from me. Any good mother who's a true mother would die just as quickly as she would kill for her young. Because her life is nothing. It's meaningless without them. And she will lay her life down for her lambs. She may be the lion, but remember, the lion falls in love with the lamb. And in the Garden of Eden, they were friends and lived side by side because they didn't have to fight for territory because they're so crammed into these reservations with all their natural, pristine, healing elements depleted. Well, it's time not to really care what other people think, because Earth's healing, whether we like it or not, or whether they, the others, on the other team, no matter what they try to concoct, no matter what happens, the universe is going to balance itself out. It kind of comes with a kill switch fail safe. I mean, it's highly intelligent, above anything that you could imagine here today. I hope you all perceive God at least higher than everything we have here. Doesn't seem that way. I don't see a lot of faith or belief in the world. And that's what it's going to take. This spiritual battle, this WW3, this Armageddon, this whatever label is going to be slapped on it. Great Awakening, the change. The final fight, right? It's going to happen regardless of what anyone does. Because the beings belong to the planet belongs to the galaxy belongs to the dimension belongs to the realm, and space to infinity and beyond. I'm weird, I know. Hey, I raised boys. What can I say? I had Legos when I was a kid too. And I had a Chewbacca who did his little gurgle every time he pressed the button. Oh, and my sister and I had a Teddy Ruxpin. I had a speak and spell and the math one, but I forget the name of it. And the robot thing. I don't know. You had to program the robot and he would do something. I forget what his name was, though. I was a weird kid. Like, I had telescopes and microscopes, and I spent my whole time at the Dali Museum and planetariums, and I loved, like, the beach and nature, and, like, man. Anyways, all right, so I've kept you guys for so long, but hey, I highly doubt this is going to upload anytime soon. If any of you guys can do me a favor, though, I do understand now, having lived this life experience, because I have it now, of how it is to be under the sun sign and your planetary influence is Saturn, and what has happened with that planet in particular and how it's been warped and manipulated is does actually play a very big effect, have a very big effect on us here in the temporal. The planets do connect, constellations, that's how you know your Stargate and sign of when certain portals of energies are coming in specifically for you that can boost you. It's like a super booster. Like in those video games, you mix the green herb with the red herb and you get the full healing. It's like you can go to these vortexes and things, and, it's powerful Stargate portals that open, and when the stars align or planets are aligned, certain things happen, and that's very true. That's why certain big, large structures and megalithic structures and certain very important, powerful buildings are on specific coordinates and specific spots geographically that line up with, the equator, the latitude, longitude, and then the meridian, true north and south poles. And I just urge everyone to just start waking up, start asking questions, open your eyes, turn the world off, close your eyes, literally, open this eye, your third eye guy in the sky, your holy trinity here. Your Father, Son, and your Holy Spirit that connects it all together, all the parts there for you. So you have minimal effort and you can actually, I don't know, live life and enjoy it and be happy and prosperous maybe. That'd be freaking awesome. Wish I could have had that. But hey, anything I can do while I'm here to make sure that my kids get that, ask me again what lengths I wouldn't go to. Ask me again what I'm afraid of. Ask me again what intimidates me. Ask me again when it comes to justice of the peace, truth, love, and moral ethics, responsibility and accountability. Tell me again I don't have authority on these topics. Yeah, I do. And I've proved it the whole time I've been here. So, I always send my love to you guys. I bless everyone with light. So grateful for my family on here. You guys have been like the most monumental and instrumental. Without you, best believe I wouldn't be here. Like, I know. And even some people, there's people that I've never physically shaken their hand or hugged them in person, looked at them face to face, like a foot away from each other. But they're my soul family. They're my tribe, man. Like, ride or die, like loyal, honest. Like, you don't even get offended because they don't talk to you in a critical way. They like give you inspiration and encouragement. So instead of like, well, you shouldn't blah, 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 vomit, they're like, well, this is how I kind of look at it. And so they help by explaining their experiences, by them being real. And then I see, oh my God, they're talking about it and they're courageous. How do I do that? And that helps me. That's how we help our weaker links, which aren't weaker because they are unable to. It's just a matter of fair play here. So, my dad fought for this country in Vietnam. My Nana left Nazi Germany in 1938 to get away from the shit. Both of my grandfathers, whom I never met, were Polish servicemen for the United States here, citizens. I'm a natural born citizen. I have disorders and things that would, by law, legally, as it is worded, qualify me for a disability claim that is approved. That gives me my, what do they offer you? Five to $700 a month to live on. Plus I get $194 in food stamps and medical care. 1 pair of glasses a year. No dentist because there aren't any in this area. Can only buy cold food and shelf non-perishable food with the food stamps. You can't get like hot coffee, or you can't get anything that's heated up, preheated at the store. Nothing. So I'll just break it down how the average, because I don't know where I fit on that standardized thing anymore, but I've waited 3 years and fought 3 denials now with a list and 2 doctors backing me, but they keep denying me, and then I'm destitute and I have no means to survive because all I get is less than $200 in cold food. And you can't get toilet paper with that. You can't save for a car with that. You can't get your school materials with that. When you run out towards the end of the month of food, you can't go buy more. You just make do, or you go without. And I've been working for a really long time, very hard, by myself. I'm not asking, and that's why I don't come on my channel and I'm like, oh, I'm going to call me for sessions and I charge $19.99, and I'm always trying to make a buck, or I don't want that. I would rather we be the way showers and show the next wave and the third following wave how to do it in case they need notes of reference because they don't have access to the original copyright work of art. Hint, hint. So if we start trading, bartering, sharing, helping this community, this collective, I'm pretty sure those of us who have been around the block a couple times can pretty quickly, efficiently, easily discern real and superficial, real and fake, truth and lie. You see these millions of subscribers with all the social media and then the monetary things. You start to add things up and you see who's making a nice pretty little penny there. And again, holding, a copy in a book. It's an antique book, but yet still word for word copy of Hippocrates' original Hippocratic Oath. And in the art of medicine, the practitioner who practices medicine doesn't charge a fee, doesn't have a cost. You don't need money to survive and live. You need oxygen. You need water. You need sustenance. You need love. You need acceptance. You need community from time to time, and you need solitary time. And you need relationship with Source, with the creator of all, demons and angels, everything. Because in order to become all, you have to experience it. The only way you can experience it is to become it for yourself. So, like I said, I've been around the block a few times. Yeah. Equal. Yin yang, baby. So, even with the hazel eyes, couldn't even decide. They couldn't even decide. Am I going to go blue like Dad? Or am I going to go dark brown like Mom? Nope. Jen gets hazel. Some days they're green. Some days they're light brown, hazel, goldish, amber, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So, I'm sending my love to you guys. I haven't heard any more aircraft, but I did hear a siren earlier today because I call this place Silent Hill in case anybody's ever played that game. They literally have an old coal mining siren that still goes off in these random hours. Like Sunday at like 5:30 in the afternoon. It's like, it sounds like a bomb siren. I'm like, what's going on? And people are telling me, I'm like, really? Why don't they silence it? Good question, Jen. Why don't they? Didn't they close the mines after mining for the anthracite and zinc? Oh, that's what they told you? No. I've literally, and I can take anyone to the spot because I have a specific spot that I purposely put something to hide it when I was out in the woods. And there's a stone, an element, a rock geological formation known as coffinite. Coffin, like what you get buried in when you die. And it's actually uranium. And there are big hunks of it. So I know what uranium is used for here on Prison Planet by the powers that be. Not good. So yeah, I'm sure the cover was zinc and anthracite. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a cover, and I'm pretty sure that tunnels aren't closed. I don't know. You just kind of hear things go bump in the night every once in a while down there, underground. Train noises or carts and things and booms and all kinds of cool stuff. All right, I'm going to stop talking. You guys are probably asleep. Everybody's snoring. They're going to wake up tomorrow morning and be like, that was the best sleep meditation I ever went to. No, it wasn't. It was a conversation. Oh, damn. No, I love you guys. Thank you for being in my life. You've made quite the difference for me, and I'm going to reclaim what I lost a long time ago because I'm beginning to remember more specific details about things and realizing what my capacity is and capabilities and abilities, skills, gifts, things like that, which could come in handy, you know? I'm going to continue to wake up this sleepy head world. The way I used to do that with my boys is a smile on my face, a little mom rub on the back, or if they were laying on their back, a mom brush the forehead hair back, and I walk in with, "Good morning, time to rise and shine." And before their eyes would open, the grin, that sets the tone for the day. Peace. Love you guys.